Okay, hello everyone. A warm welcome to our live stream event, Discover SLS at Grange. We apologize for the slight delay. Thank you very much for waiting. Okay, I'm Ellie from the SLS office and I'm joined here today by three of our Friends of SLS and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, I'm Derek from Woodlands Primary. I currently teach math and music.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Sihua from West Grove Primary.
Hello everyone, I'm Shi Hui from Corporation Primary School.
Thank you for being with us today. Now, some of you might have noticed that today's setup is very different from our norm. This is because we are coming to you live from our newly refurnished Grange Road office, which we are calling SLS at Grange. So the reason why we are transforming this place is because we are launching a new learning journey here. So let's take a sneak peek into what awaits you on this enriching learning journey experience. Okay, we're very excited to have all of you join us to experience our new space firsthand as we guide you through this learning journey. So our guests here actually had a taste of this learning journey experience. So let's hear from them. Shall we begin with Shihua? So Shihua, could you share with us some of the aspects of this learning journey that you find enjoyable?
I guess firstly, I must thank the SLS team for inviting me to this inspiring place. I think this place is really a nexus of talent, dedication, as well as cutting edge technology. All right. And I think this really is a special place and a launch pad for us as the fraternity push the boundary and scale the next bound. So I particularly liked how through our discussion, we get to have a sense of the developmental trajectories of where SLS is going to bring us and the next bound, and very exciting. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. What about you, Derek?
I think I particularly enjoyed the first few activities. Kind of felt like it was an escape room, trying to solve puzzles while finding out new information and the history of SLS. And after that, we also had the chance to actually see how the SLS office brainstorms new ideas before implementing new features. And I thought that was a very interesting eye-opener.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, my turn. Okay, I think that I like this space because this space is quite vibrant and it's also quite young. Okay, when I walk over, I see that there's a white house over here, and then inside the white house there's the green plants, so it's quite Instagrammable. So yeah, I like this. Other than that, just now, when we tour around, I noticed that the design is well integrated with technology as well, and there is also a space for teacher to socialize and also to discuss and to work over here. As you can see, there are many high desks and also the coffee. Yeah, so I think this actually is important because this add the diversity to the space. So I think this will inspire the teacher to continue to innovate our lesson. And so teachers, so if you do not have any holiday plan yet, so come and visit this SLS lunch. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we hope that many of you will come join us here. So if you're as excited as we are, okay, so please, you can scan the QR code at the corner of the screen to find out more about how you can participate in this learning journey. So all the details that you need are actually available on our SLS info site. Okay, and we hope to see you very soon. Okay, if you have any questions, you can also leave them in the comments. So I'm glad that our friends of SLS really enjoyed their time here, because it took us quite a while to set up this whole area and also plan the learning journey for all of you. So please do come down and experience it for yourself. Also, the learning journey is not the only new thing about SLS. So we've actually introduced many new features over the past year. So we are curious to know which one has actually captured your attention the most, and could you elaborate how you find it exciting or impactful in the classroom? Okay. So audience at home, you can also leave your comments in the comment section so that we can look at it later on. So maybe we can start with Zihui.
Okay, sure. For me, I think it's definitely the gamification, because my students like games and I like games as well. So because of this gamification tool, I found that my students is more engaged and also more motivated to complete the SLS quiz and activity that I assign for them. I think that when we talk about assessment is one thing, but with gamification, assessment become another thing. So with this tool, I will highly recommend teacher to use it as a game-based assessment. You will notice the difference in your students' participation and also their engagement. There are two strategies that I would like to recommend teachers to try out. Okay, for me, I try out this storytelling when I design the gamified lesson. So teachers, maybe you can try to plot your game story and align it to the lesson objective, and also insert some of the clues and also the challenge for students to encounter, because students like games, they like clues, and also they like challenges. And with all the badges, achievement, I'm sure that the students will be more motivated to complete the lesson.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think gamification is one of the tools that will really encourage students to, make the lesson more fun and interesting for them, so that they will be more motivated to complete the lesson. Yeah. What about you, Sihua?
Okay, for me, I think the one that got me really excited would be the AI-enabled features like the feedback assistant. So to me, these features are not just a technical enhancement. I think rather it signifies a new paradigm for SLS, one in which can support teachers in not just promote mass access to our students, rather we can do a lot of mass customization with it. So for example, let's say with the feedback assistant and its error editing features and capabilities, I think teachers really can be offloaded and focus more on engaging students in the feedback process, as well as tapping on the AI capabilities to support us in giving more quality feedback that can help to enhance students' learning outcomes. I think that gave us more leverage.
Yeah. So I think for me, one of the things that I really enjoyed using SLS as a platform is the collaborative tools that have been increasingly available on SLS. I think when we first started out, we only had an interactive thinking tool, and then after that, subsequently, the forums came along, and now we have the discussion board. And so there are actually many platforms where when we are having a blended lesson, we can actually get students to actually be responding to stimulus, and we can be discussing them on the spot. Yeah. And also tapping on that, I think the integration with Google, where we're able to use our Google documents and slides, this actually enabled us to do a lot more group works, and where students can actually start to interact, discuss, and come up with presentations or solutions together. So I think all these collaborative tools have really enabled us to do a lot more in class. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you have shared. So actually for our SLS, R20 will be the last release of V1. Okay, so R20 is coming up in December before we actually move into V2. So what are some of the exciting features that you would like to see in this upcoming version, and how do you think that it can enhance the learning experience? So audience, you can also type down your answers in the comments.
I think one feature I would like to see maybe would be some form of messaging that might be
Yes.
available. So sometimes when students have questions, when they're working on assignments at home, sometimes they may not be able to get in touch with the teachers.
Yes.
So I think that might be helpful.
Yeah, I agree with you definitely, because so when I was in school as well, so when the students have questions, it's very hard for them to reach out to the teachers directly, right? Because especially in primary schools, they do not have like mobile devices. So I think that if there's a messaging function, I think that would be really useful. Yeah.
For me, my wish list, I think on the top of my wish list would be more AI enabled integration. Take for example predictive analysis. For example, when students engage with the content as well as the concepts, I think it enables us to capture very rich data on how the children are interacting with the materials and the concepts, helping us pull out what they really are keen to explore, as well as some of the things that they might be struggling with, so that we can tailor their learning experiences accordingly. Again, with AI, I hope there will be like one click of a button and then the entire customized lesson would be out. I think wow, that will be really exciting.
Yes, I hope that we can see that too. Zikui, for you?
Okay, for me, I think is although just now we mentioned that there are a lot of like collaboration tools on SLS, but I still look forward to the enhancements of the collaboration tools. Even though now we have the ITT, the discussion board, but then there is still no real-time collaboration tool on SLS, just like the Google Slide or the Google Jamboard. So I think it's good for us to integrate all these real-time collaboration board on SLS, so that the teacher can also facilitate the learning in classroom easily, and perhaps one button for students to just click and they can share their content via the WhatsApp or any email with their peers or teachers as well.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So actually, I also wanted to share my wish list. So my wish list is actually for SLS to maybe have a place, like a portfolio area where you can share your artworks with all your friends in the class. Yeah, so I think that would be very interesting for them to display their artwork, so that everybody can do can look through their friends' work and then they can comment. Yeah. So I hope that the audience watching can also type down what's your wish list for SLS for V2. Okay. We have a question from Anna. So what will teachers get to experience if they visit SLS at Grange? They will participate in a discussion about SLS and participate in an escape room, where they can learn about information and history about SLS. Okay, so if you come down to SLS at Grange, you will participate in a learning journey where, yes, you can learn about the history of SLS, and you also learn about how SLS is developed. So what we do is you will participate in like a mini game where you will take on the role as a SLS developer. Like you will think, I cannot say too much, but we hope that you can sign up and come down to find out for yourselves. I promise you it will be very fun. Yes. Okay. If you have any other questions, you can leave your questions in the comments. So now we are moving to the last segment of today. So at the start of the live stream, I introduced our guests as Friends of SLS, right? So what exactly is a Friend of SLS? It was actually launched in October 2020. The Friends of SLS campaign seeks to recognize proactive SLS users who have contributed to the professional development of fellow teachers in the use of SLS. We actually piloted with 8 of such teachers who actively share their good practices in the use of SLS for teaching and learning on our Facebook group where you're watching this. So let me ask our Friends of SLS about their experience. So Derek, could you share with us a meaningful story or experience that highlights your role in the school or SGLDC community?
I think I've definitely enjoyed all the sharing and learning that has been going on at SGLDC. At times, I'm also learning things that I have never heard and seen before. So I think it's a wonderful platform where teachers actually get to learn from each other. And so in school, we've also started trying to go on board a whole school approach on SLS. So we started departmental groups also, where the level of department can actually share resources with this new class resource and class groups. And I think it's a great way for teachers to actually start archiving and to put up their lessons, activities, resources on it. So even after this year, when we pass it on to the next group of teachers, they don't have to recreate their resources. Everything is there. They can just start using some of this and modifying it for their students. Yeah, so that's something that we're trying out in our school, getting teachers to actually curate resources together on SLS.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. What about you, Shihua?
So to me, I think magic really happens when deep, good, solid pedagogy drives meaningful technological use, and that and SLS has a special place in my heart. I think it's really one of the platforms that we can be proud of as a system. When we interact with our counterparts from various parts of the country, this mission of us wanting to leverage on technology to provide access of quality learning to all learners, and now mass customization. So that itself means a lot to me, and I think it's also an exemplification of how we come together as a forward-looking fraternity, putting in all our hearts, minds, soul, and strength to reshape the educational paradigm in a digital age. So for me, with that, in my dual role as a HOD driving ICT in school as well as a friend of SLS, I think what I really value and brings joy when I get to go to school, it's really to work with my colleagues to break new grounds and pilot new initiatives using SLS. And I think really nothing beats when you see the sparkles in their eyes telling you, wow, actually what I did this lesson can benefit so many children and so many teachers. And I think that got me really excited. And yeah, and it's moments like these that spurs me on, and my friends, I believe.
Thank you for sharing. How about you, Zihui?
Okay, for me, I think that being a friend of SLS is actually an ambassador of SLS in our school. So during our school meeting or departmental meeting, we have to share one strategy or one good lesson with our colleagues every term. So yeah, usually our teachers will share about other strategy, but for me, it's always SLS lesson design. Yeah. So at the beginning of the year, right, I share with them the gamified lesson that I designed for my class, and also the reading lesson using the speech evaluation tool. So the teachers find it quite useful. So I did a hands-on workshop with the teacher, and after that, all the teacher go home and try to design one gamified lesson and also the speech evaluated reading lesson. So now in our department, we have the lesson package for all the level and we use it for home-based learning and the holiday assignment. So I think that is something that quite meaningful and also impactful to the school. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really useful to come to for all the teachers to come together to create shared resources so that you don't have to do double work, right? Yeah, I think one of the problems that teachers might face is that we always find it there's a lack of time to create so many different lessons for so many different classes. So I think it will be very useful for the teachers to create a class group just for sharing of resources, and then we can just park our resource there and everybody can adapt for their own class usage. Yeah. Has any one of you managed to convince anyone who thinks that SL is so difficult to use, but after you share with them they realize actually it's not too bad?
Okay, not really, but for me, right, one of my colleagues sitting beside me, okay, she has never attended the SGLDC virtual meet before. So every time I will nag beside her to ask her to join because it's really engaging and also is enable us to learn new things. So I think last week she told me that she has just signed up for the September one virtual meet. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, I think the beautiful part about SLS is its iterative design. Everyone is constantly learning, and that you will never be too late to join and partake in the learning together. So I think that's really very powerful for me and how I learn alongside with my colleagues.
I think it's the same sentiments. Teachers are actually very excited whenever there are new feature releases in SLS, and they're actually more than happy to try it out. And sometimes when they need some queries and stuff, there's always a community at SGLDC that is support them.
Do they come to you for help in school?
At times.
Okay, so actually I wanted to also ask, how's your experience like working with the SLS office, like coming down for the live stream or being a friend of SLS? So how has the experience been like for you? Okay, how's the live stream experience for you then? Maybe because like Derek and Zihui has participated in 2, right?
I think it's a good exposure for us. We do not have such opportunity in our school, so yeah, and the colleagues here are all very friendly. Yeah.
Okay, glad to hear that.
I mean, I'm glad to come to these events where we actually get to meet other colleagues who are also just as passionate about EPAD and technology. So yeah, it's been a great experience too.
For myself, this is like the first time, and honestly, I have stage fright, but I encourage all of you to join all of us. It's not that scary after all. Speaking from our own experiences, yeah.
Yes. Thank you all for coming down today. So actually this year, between June and August, we actually invited students to nominate their teachers who have used SLS regularly to create engaging learning experience for them. So we have actually received an overwhelming number of responses from the students. And then reading through the nomination actually really made me miss teaching. So unfortunately, we cannot choose everybody. So, so here are our 75 teachers. So we are very happy to announce that the 75 teachers who have been recognized by his or her students for their consistent and meaningful use of SLS, and which have also been validated by their high frequency of SLS usage compared to their peers. So this newly minted Friends of SLS will be receiving a parcel from us very soon. Okay, so I think for now we do not have any questions, but if you do, please leave them in the comments. We will reply after the live stream, and we really hope that you can join us at SLS at Grange for the learning journey. So you can find out more information at our website, our info site. Okay, so thank you very much, and we hope to see you at the next live stream. Bye bye.